Welcome to The Private Conversation, a mother's secret on our 10th anniversary. This is a story about betrayal and hidden motives revealed on a couple's milestone celebration. Brooke's 10th wedding anniversary turns into a shocking revelation when her mother asks to speak to her husband. Hello, guys. I'm here to tell you the story of my ex-husband, but let me get the introductions out. I am using fake names because, well, I don't want to be accidentally recognized. My name is Brooke, and the main people in the story are Sean, my husband, Camilla, my mother, and Melanie, who is Sean's childhood friend. Watch out for some drama, though. Sean isn't my husband anymore, and Melody turned out to be a homewrecker. Sean and I actually met through an uncle of mine named Andy. He was my mom's brother and a very reputable man in my city. It was through him that I met Sean. I was fresh out of college, and Sean was employed at a company that my uncle's friend owned. We met at a party and quickly became friends. He seemed very curious about me when he first met me. He said, "Are you related to Andy by any chance? You look familiar, but I know he doesn't have a daughter." I have checked before. You are right. I'm not Andy's daughter, but I am related to him. He's my mom's brother. Oh, so you are the lucky girl who will get all of Andy's wealth. Gosh, I am so jealous of you. We have been dying to meet you, actually. Back then, I thought that his comment was somewhat weird and inappropriate, but I overlooked it thinking that it may have slipped out by mistake. I laughed it off and pretended like it wasn't a big deal. Yes, most people knew about my impending inheritance from Andy. He was unmarried and had no children, so he had willed it to me. I was staying close to him to learn everything from him. I had a job, but still helped around his estate. So when Sean mentioned knowing about my inheritance, it didn't strike me as odd. I should have been more careful, guys. I was young and fresh out of a bad breakup. Sean was actually a very respected man who was loved by the whole community near us. So I was also easily swayed by his sweet talk. The only problem I had with him was his childhood friend, Melanie. She was very rude to me and often interrupted our dates. When I talked to Sean about it, he said, "Melanie is like that, Brooke. You know, she's my childhood best friend. We also work together, so we are super close. I understand that, Sean, but she is super rude to me. I think she likes you or something. It makes me super uncomfortable. Please tell her to stop interrupting our dates and being rude to me. Don't be so harsh on her, Brooke. She's single and lonely. She just wants to hang out with us. I can't change her behavior, but I will talk to her about it." Well, he never did, because Melanie continued to be a pain in my butts. Sometimes she would get out of her way to be sweet to me, but most of the time she made fun of me and insulted me. Sean always told me to adjust with her. Guys, I tried, but Melanie hated me. It became much more apparent when me and Sean got married. Melanie said, "Just because you married him, that doesn't mean he is yours. I am and always will be his first priority. He'll always choose me over you. Melanie, I'm tired of being nice to you. If you're so determined to hate me, I will not put in the effort anymore. And you know what? I am Sean's wife, so I'll be his first priority from now on." Oh, we will see about that, Brooke. You better not get your hopes up. I'm saying this for your own good. Enjoy the marriage while it lasts. I was pissed at Melanie for saying these things. Sean and I were supposed to be madly in love. I was supposed to be his first priority, and I would be. That's what I always thought. Well, I was wrong. As soon as we got married, Sean started to spend a lot of time with Melanie. They were always hanging out together and never let me join in. I insisted and said, "Hey, Sean, we go out today? I feel bored at home. We can have a date night like before we married. It'll be perfect." "I'll pass, Brooke. I'll be going out with Melanie. Don't wait for me. I'll have dinner with her." But it's been so long since we've had a date. "Sean, we've been on 2 dates in the last 3 months. At least take me along with you." "How can you be so selfish, Brooke? You're at the house. I can see you all the time. Melanie is alone and doesn't have anyone. She needs me more. I can't bring you along. She feels uncomfortable because of your hostility towards her." Yes, that's what my husband had to say about me. Readers, despite all the red flags, I stayed married to him for 10 fricking years. I don't know why I did it. By the end of 2 years, Sean was already checked out of the marriage. I begged and pleaded to go marriage counseling. I didn't want to be divorced, but Sean never listened. By the end of 10 years, I was slowly starting to realize that Sean might be playing me. So I decided to check his text with Melanie one day. I tried my best to get his passcode and snapped through his messages. This is what I found. I hate keeping our relationship secret, Sean. I hate Brooke and seeing you with her breaks me. How long do we have to put up with this act? Don't worry, Melanie. It's only a matter of time. Brooke's uncle is very sick, won't be alive for a long time. Once he dies, most of his assets will go to Brooke. That man loves my wife like his own daughter. But what does it have to do with us, Sean? I don't like to be your mistress. I want to marry you and have a family with you. I want that too, dear Melanie. I have plans for Brooke. I'm going to put my hands on her inheritance. Once she gets the money, I'll ask for a divorce. I'll say that she's a horrible wife and abuses me mentally. Everyone will believe me because they think I'm a good man. In the divorce, I'll get half of it. We'll have a great life with the money. Oh my God, this is your plan? I doubted you for nothing. You really think about our future a lot. I hope Brooke's uncle passed away soon. That witch will lose everything at one go. Oh, he'll be hilarious. I can act like the childhood sweetheart who heals your broken heart. People call us the ultimate couple. The way they talked about me made my blood boil. I thought that finding proof of their cheating would break me inside, but it just made me super angry. I had my doubts about the two of them for a while, but Sean was manipulating me into thinking that I'm crazy. All these texts between them made me feel victorious. I have had enough of being manipulated and treated like crap. I was done. I quickly took screenshots of their texts and saved them on my phone. I then deleted those screenshots so that Sean doesn't suspect anything. Then I went straight to my mom for help. I knew that I didn't have the mental stability or patience to execute a solid plan for revenge. I needed my mom. I went to her place and showed her everything. She was shocked and said, "I can't believe this, Brooke. Your husband really is a vile and disgusting person. I thought he was a good guy, but he's a freaking snake." I know, Mum. Everyone thinks he's such a great guy. At this point, I'm not even sure anyone would be on my side if I leave him. You know what? You think he's cheating on you and using you for money, right? I'll bait him into revealing his true face. That way you can get rid of him and everyone will know what a piece of crap he is. That is a great idea, Mum. He thinks he can get away with manipulating me. He has it all wrong. I will show him who he has messed with. He will regret this. That's my girl. Let's just go over the plan and make sure we don't miss anything. You will get this opportunity just once. We have to be careful. So me and Mum went through all the details of our plan. I knew for a fact that Sean was cheating on me and using me for money, but I couldn't prove it in any way. But now I finally have a solid plan to catch him in the act. I decided to execute my plan at our 10th wedding anniversary. We had already planned a big celebration and everyone, including Melanie, would be there. It was my perfect chance to ruin them in front of everyone. The day of the anniversary came, and we were all having a good time. Sean was trying to sneak off with Melanie a couple of times, but someone or the other was interrupting him. Honestly, it was hilarious to see how hard he was trying to make a good impression on people by entertaining everyone. In a few minutes, everything will come crashing down around him. Just a little before we were due to cut our cake, my mom came up to Sean and said, "Hey, Sean, I see that you're busy, but I was wondering if you could spare a few minutes for me. I really need to attend to the guests here. Can this wait, Camilla? I'm afraid I need to talk to you right now. It'll only take 5 minutes. Brooke can stay here and entertain the guests." "All right, then let's go. I'm curious to know what you want to say." Sean and my mum left to go to the balcony. I knew for a fact that my mum was recording the conversation. It would be fun to see his reaction when Mum baits him. I patiently waited while mingling with the guests. My friends had been briefed about the situation, so they knew what was coming. In a matter of minutes, Sean and my mum were back. When Sean was back, he looked really pissed. My mum also looked grim, but shot me a smirk when everyone was busy asking Sean what was wrong. Even Melanie said, "Sean, why do you look so upset? Did Camilla say something to you? Today's your anniversary. You shouldn't be upset. Tell me what happens." "Yeah, Melanie, I'm super upset. Everyone, I have an announcement to make. There will be no celebration today. The wedding and marriage is over. I'll be divorcing Brooke. What do you mean, Sean? I'm confused. We're having our 10th anniversary and you're asking for a divorce? That's ridiculous. Don't try to act naive, Brooke. You know I've been unhappy with you for a while now. You've been mooching off me and using me for money. I am done with your antics. I know that you have no inheritance and plan to live off on my income. I won't allow that. We are over. Oh my God. I had a feeling that Brooke is with you for money. I was honestly hoping that she turns out to be a good person. How could you do this, Brooke? You have been taking advantage of Sean. I'll support Sean in his decision. I've had my doubts for a while. Hearing the accusations at me really made me laugh out loud. Sean and Melanie's words had already shocked everyone. People who knew me had no doubts that something didn't add up. However, most of their friends and colleagues were eyeing me with disgust. Everyone around me looked super confused when I started to laugh. Even Sean and Melanie were eyeing me with suspicion. Sean said, "Why the hell are you laughing, Brooke? This is ridiculous. Look at her, everyone. Look how shameless she is. Instead of defending herself or crying to have her husband back, she is laughing. This just shows how horrible Brooke truly is." Your words have made me laugh, Melanie. You and Sean do make a great team, to be honest. And why the hell would I cry to have my cheating and gold-digging husband back? I'm not that stupid. How dare you level such insane accusations against me? Everyone here knows how respectable I am. I work at a prestigious firm and have a great yes. Why are you trying to ruin Sean's reputation? You're such a witch, Brooke. You want revenge against Sean for divorcing you? Oh, Melanie, I don't want revenge against Sean for trying to divorce me. In fact, I will happily give him a divorce if he asks for one. But I'll definitely take revenge for what the two of you have done to me. You think you are a reputable person, Sean? Then how will you explain these? At that point, I took my phone and started a beautiful slideshow that I had prepared for our anniversary. Yes, you guessed it right. I went with the classic presentation style to explore their affair. It had screenshots and images from security cameras in the house. The images shocked everyone. The things written in the screenshots of their texts angered them as well. Sean's boss also looked pissed because it was against company policy to date someone from the office. Sean and Brooke hurriedly started to accuse me of faking the texts and making them look bad. They were desperately trying to get everyone to listen to them. But I had some extra ammo up my sleeve. They said, "All these are lies. People, please don't believe this. Melanie and I are very good friends. She can't stand how close we are, so she's trying to spoil our images. Yes, all these screenshots are fake. She's definitely hired someone to fake them and make us look bad. Brooke, why are you trying to destroy our reputation? You are a monster." Oh, really? Melanie and Sean, you two think these screenshots are fake. Well, people, if any of you have these doubts in mind, you need to listen to Sean's own words. Then I signaled my mom to take out her phone and play the recording. Sean looked extremely pale and was just about to stop my mom from playing the recording. But my mom acted fast and played it before he could do anything. The recording played. "Sean, there is something that I need to tell you about Brooke. I've thought that it was important that you know." "What is it, Camilla? Tell me now. You're wasting my time." "It's about Brooke's inheritance from her uncle. You should have said that before." "Is he dead already? When will we get the money?" "Well, that's the thing, Sean. My brother has changed his will. He will be leaving everything to another cousin. Brooke is pretty stable, so he's not giving her any money." "What? Brooke is not getting the big inheritance? You can't be serious. You can't just tell me that I spent 10 years with that witch for nothing. How can you call my daughter a witch, Sean? She is your wife. You need to show her some respect. Don't you love her?" "Why would I love her, Camilla? Your daughter is a good-for-nothing woman. The only reason I married her was because I knew she had a huge inheritance coming. If I had known that Brooke won't ever be witch, I would have married Melanie long back." "So, it is true your affair with Melanie. You've been cheating on Brooke. How could you do this to her? She loved you." "Well, I don't care if she loves me. She's useless to me now. You know what, Camilla? I will show Brooke her place today. I'll tell everyone that I'm divorcing her, that she is a gold digger and has made my life hell. Your daughter deserves to be treated like the crap she is." Mom stopped the recording and let everyone come to terms with what they had just heard. I won't lie, guys. I did feel very hurt and embarrassed by the way Sean spoke about me. It felt that I was useless and incapable of being loved. But I held strong. I could see that Melanie and Sean were looking very pale and frightened. That was enough to remind me of something. I might not be successful in love, but I am not a pushover. I can make people suffer consequences for hurting me. After the recording was played, there was not much I had to do anyway. I had already started a chain reaction where everyone turned on Sean and Melanie. You see, we do live in an Orthodox community where our daughter is taken very, very seriously. So things were not looking very good for them right now. People were beating them for their behavior, and all of them stood in support for me. My friends added fuel to the fire by relaying all the way Sean neglected me in the marriage. It was the perfect day for me, the best anniversary I had with Sean, and it would be my last because I had one more surprise waiting for him. I said, now that everyone knows the truth, there's just one more thing I need to do. Sean, you don't have to file for divorce. I already did it. Here are the papers. You need to contact me through my lawyer. No, no, listen to me. We can work this out. You know, everyone here would want you to give me a second chance. We can't break marriages that easily. Melanie was just a small mistake. Trying to save your face, Sean. You think if you convince Brooke to forgive you, people will forget and forget everything, too. That will never happen, Sean. You had done wrong by my daughter. Now you will see what happens when you break your vows. There's no use begging, Sean. Your mistress, Melanie, won't be very pleased with it. My decision is final. We are getting a divorce. And just to be clear, I'm going to take half of your house in the divorce. Good luck trying to buy me out. Saying that, my mom and I left the venue. Sean was surrounded by an angry mob of people. Melanie started to scream at him for trying to abandon her and stay married to me. It was a whole shit show, and we wanted no part of it. Two of my friends had left early to pack my stuff and send it to my mom's house. My lawyer assured me that I would get half of the house. So I didn't need to stay there anymore. I moved in with my mom and prepared for a divorce battle. Months passed, and I was finally able to get a divorce from Sean. In our state, couples can get divorced after being separated for 6 months. Thankfully, we never had kids, so we didn't worry about that. Sean had to split the house with me since it was bought after our marriage. He was forced to sell his share because his savings were low after the house purchase. He had no way of buying me out. I actually bought the house from him with the money my mom gave me. I returned the money after I got my inheritance from my uncle. The inheritance did come free, but not before me and Sean got divorced. With great care, we were able to keep my uncle alive for a while longer. It was another slap in Sean's face since he wanted my uncle gone soon. Let's talk about Melanie next. Well, Sean did try to get back with me after I filed for divorce. He wanted to preserve what little image was left of him. Melanie hated it and proceeded to break up with him. Sean didn't care because they had other things to worry about. Shortly after we got divorced, their boss fired them from work. He was actually a good friend of my uncle and understood the situation. He kept Sean employed till the divorce so that he can't claim alimony from me. So Sean and Melanie have broken up, and I have been fired from their jobs. Last I checked, Sean was planning to move to another state since no one liked him here anymore. Thanks for watching The Private Conversation, a mother's secret on our 10th anniversary. If you found this story gripping, please like, share, and subscribe for more real-life dramas. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I have a jaw-dropping story that will leave you stunned. The title says it all. Busted. Confronting my cheating husband and in-laws. You won't believe what happened next. My name is Sarah, a divorced woman in my late 20s. I'm going to share a story that happened about a year ago about my ex-husband's unbelievable betrayal and the astonishing events that followed. I was with John, my ex-husband, since our college days. After graduating and securing jobs, we got married 2 years later. John, who had a sales job at a cosmetics manufacturing company, used to say, "Appearance is everything in sales." And so he put even more effort into maintaining his looks than he did in college. Around the time we got married, his company started doing quite well, so John started investing more in his outfits. He was so particular about his hair that he went to the salon twice a month just to keep it perfect. I mean, you can't have a sales rep for a cosmetics company looking shabby. So I had to hold back my feelings whenever I thought, isn't he going a bit overboard? Especially when comparing his situation to mine. As for me, I quit my job to become a homemaker after we got married. After about a year, I started thinking about having kids. But John would always respond with, we don't have enough money. It's just not possible right now. And was reluctant to agree. So, I reluctantly started working part-time to convince him. I juggled two jobs, worked 5 days a week at both a gas station and a grocery store. It was exhausting, both physically and emotionally, to the point where I felt I might be busier than John himself. I couldn't even go to a hair salon often. Yet, what kept me going was John's kindness that he expressed occasionally. Once every 3 months or so, there were days when he would make a reservation for the both of us at the hair salon. We spent the whole day together just being out on a date. We would get our hair done in the morning and then go shopping or watch movies. Although there were things I wish John did better, the time spent together on our dates made up for it. Those dates helped ease out our tension and maintain our healthy relationship. However, 2 years after getting married, Megan, a friend from our college days who lived nearby, told me this. Sarah, did you know there's a rumor going around that John's cheating on you with another woman? Of course, I, who had no way of knowing such a thing, was shocked. Unlike me, Megan was already a mother of two. She was enjoying her daily meetups with other moms in the park. Among the gossip there, it seemed there was one about John going into a hotel with a young woman every Friday. Sure enough, John was usually late coming home on Fridays, but that was because he had to tally the week's sales results for the weekend. At that time, I completely believed his story. Thinking it must be some mistake, I tried to tell Megan, but she countered. I saw it once too. Megan grabbed my shoulder and persuaded me in a strong tone. Something's fishy for sure. You have to talk to him about this. That day, I told John about the gossip. Really because Megan pushed me to talk to him, but also because I wanted to be reassured and tell others that it wasn't true. I thought that if I confirmed this with John and he denied it, I could feel at ease. As expected, John refuted my story, saying it was just a rumor. There was a female employee who came from out of state for a meeting. It seemed she would be late returning home, so I took her to the hotel she stayed at. Don't take strange rumors seriously. He snapped back and denied the rumor. I didn't think he would be this upset for being doubted, so I didn't know how to respond for a second. Then I felt very bad for doubting my husband when he did nothing wrong. I deeply regretted accusing my husband of cheating even for a bit. However, right after that, I witnessed my husband entering a hotel with a woman. The two of them, arm in arm, looked like nothing but lovers. John was wearing the suit he had worn to work that day, and the woman was in a hoodie. It didn't look like something you'd wear to a company-wide meeting. I remembered that they were seen going to the hotel every Friday, so I started to stake out around the hotel in the evenings every Friday, and sure enough, every week, John appeared with this woman. John always had his sunglasses on, and the woman had her hood deep over her eyes, seemingly trying not to be noticed. But it was the figure of my husband whom I saw every day. He wasn't under much disguise, so it was clear that it was my husband. I knew I needed proof, so I took pictures with my phone. I had to do something, so I took the initiative to contact my in-laws and explain the situation. However, the two of them, who have always been sweet on John, their youngest child, brushed off my story as if it were just a rumor. What a nice guy escorting a girl who's on a business trip safely to her hotel. Seeing my father-in-law start to praise John, I showed him the picture of John with this woman. Please, you two, look at this. The two of them seemed a bit flustered when they saw the pictures, but they quickly composed themselves. A young man with a young woman? It's normal for others to take it that way. The mother-in-law laughed, and the father-in-law nodded in agreement. The fact that it's every week is strange, and no matter how many times I look at the woman's outfit, it doesn't look like she just left the office. Their reaction got on my nerves, so to prove my husband's infidelity, I decided to get some more solid proof. I knew John was careless. He often leaves his phone on the desk with all of his notifications on. Everything pops up on his screen, both the messages and its senders. I'd never thought about going through his notifications until now, but of course, it was different this time. I took a peek at his phone that was left on his desk as usual. Looking forward to our beach trip on Friday night, I was both shocked and dumbfounded. I couldn't believe they were brazen enough to chat about such a thing through texts. I felt like they were treating me like I was stupid, which only intensified my anger. That very night, John told me that he had to go on a trip starting Friday night for his company's gathering. He said it so casually, but I knew it was just a facade. It was amusing to see him trying to hide something so obvious, and I felt a sense of superiority. When I asked where he was going, he responded with the name of a beach resort by the mountains. It seems he's staying at a hotel, which we've been to together before. When I called the hotel, they indeed had a reservation under John's name for Friday night. That Friday, I decided to bring my in-laws to the said hotel. Charles, my nephew-in-law, a vocational school student living with my in-laws, also wanted to come. He must have heard from my in-laws. Charles is the only son of John's eldest brother. He lost his parents in a car accident when he was in elementary school and has since been raised by my in-laws, perhaps due to their close age. Charles was particularly fond of John among many uncles and aunts. Following John's lead, he even started to become interested in fashion and has been saying he wants to be a hairstylist. John seemed to be very happy that Charles liked him. The two of them were more like brothers than uncle and nephew. They called each other by all sorts of nicknames, too. He must have found it hard to believe the unfaithfulness of his beloved young uncle, just like me, a little while ago. He must have wanted concrete proof that things were not what they seemed. The thought of this hurt my heart, but in the end, he couldn't come because he had school. Fateful Friday. I arrived at the hotel a little earlier than the time John and the women's check-in time and waited for them with my skeptical in-laws. He's probably not coming, my father-in-law murmured, relieved when they didn't show up after waiting for a while. However, just as my father-in-law sighed and started to get up from his seat, they arrived. A man in a suit and incongruous sunglasses and a woman whose face was half hidden by the hood of her hoodie arrived. As soon as the two walked through the entrance of the hotel, they kissed without waiting for the automatic door behind them to close. At that moment, the woman's hood fell down, revealing her hidden face. I was stunned by the beauty that had come into clear view. She had cute acorn-like eyes, a small nose pointed up, beautifully upturned lips, and her inner hair beautifully dyed bright red, which was familiar. She was a hairstylist at the hair salon my husband frequented. I had had her shampoo and blow-dry my hair several times. I remember talking to her across the mirror, saying, "I'm going on a date with my husband after this." I was completely taken aback. I had been unknowingly going to the salon where the woman my husband was cheating with worked, excited about my post-haircut date with him. Did she think I was a dumb old woman, oblivious to my husband's infidelity, while she dried my hair? Thinking this, my anger began to boil. I wanted to strike down both John and the woman. I looked at my in-laws. You both understand now, right? John is undoubtedly having an affair. They made faces as if they had bitten into sand and apologized. Never mind that. Could you please cooperate with me? Later at dinner, my in-laws and I sat next to John and the woman. My plan to get back at them was quite simple. We would appear in front of them and confront them in a situation where they couldn't make excuses. I thought that if it became known that he had been unfaithful not only to me, but also to his parents, even John would learn his lesson. Good day. As I greeted him, John turning to me widened his eyes so much that the outlines of his pupils were discernible. His lover asked, "What? Who are they?" But John's half-open mouth just flapped without any words coming out. Anger surged to me again towards his mistress, who didn't even recognize me. I retorted in a sharp tone, more like, "Who are you? A colleague from work?" For the first time, his mistress reacted and was taken aback. Seems like she finally recognized me. She tried to get help from John by making eye contact, but John was stunned too. I blurted out, "So it's true that you go to a hotel with some woman. How could you be so bold and lie to me? You were actually cheating on me, and yet you got mad at me for doubting you. As soon as you guys entered here, you two were kissing. We saw it clearly." At this point, anger flared in John's eyes. He glared at me and said in a low voice, "Cheating? What do you mean?" And raised his voice, "So you're telling me it's all my fault?" Shut up. You are so busy with your part-time job or whatever and never bothered to dress well for yourself. You always look so shabby, and I can't be going out with someone like you. Spurred by my husband's counterattack, his lover suddenly became more energetic. By the way, are you his wife? I couldn't even tell at first glance, because you look so shabby. Gosh, I even gave you a wonderful haircut at my place. How dare you talk to her like that? Finally, my father-in-law raised his voice. John, shut this girl up right now. And John, how dare you talk to your own wife like that? Shut up. That's how you make me the bad guy. Well, that's to be expected. Unlike my older brother and sister, I'm never good enough. You always made me take on extra classes because I was never talented. John, that's not right. Shut up, old hag. John raised his voice again. But my mother-in-law was right. My mother-in-law had always told me John's older brother and sister struggled in school, so we made John attend extra classes and tutoring, so he wouldn't have to struggle like his siblings. We did everything we could to make sure John didn't fall behind in school. He was showered with love, yet his view was skewed. After that, John continued to insult me and his parents, who tried to confront John, loudly calling them old man and old hag. All of you don't understand me and always put me down. That's why I couldn't stand it and went for a girl who understands me. What's wrong with that? Suddenly, John's phone rang. It was a call from someone. At first, John ignored it, but annoyed by the relentless ringing, he took out his phone to check it. Immediately, I could see the blood draining from John's face. Wondering what was wrong, I peeped at the screen to see a text. And just by looking at the text, I could tell his fury was flooding in like a demon. How dare you? Because of you, our reputation is ruined. What are you doing and where are you? Come to my office right now. For some reason, John's boss was furious. I had no idea what was going on. John's phone went off again. This time, it seemed to be a call. And John answered in a flustered manner. Charles, it's not what you think it is. I can explain. He got a call from Charles. From the moment I confronted John, I had called Charles to let him hear everything that went down. Charles requested for me to do so. Charles's voice was loud enough for us to hear. No, I know just exactly what you did. I heard everything. I can't forgive you for all the rude things you said to your wife and berating my grandpa and grandma. How dare you? Also, Ashley will get a call soon too. At Charles's words, John's mistress shuddered. Huh? How does Charles know John's mistress? She's getting a call? From whom? I wondered, but I soon learned why. I'm currently interning at a hair salon for school, and the owner of the salon's right here with me. He's been listening to everything. He said he's even contacted your boss, John. Yes, that's right. Charles is aspiring to be a hairstylist and attends a cosmetology school. The salon where he is interning turned out to be the one John frequents. In retrospect, I just remembered that Charles was the one who introduced the place to John. But why would his manager call John's boss? In the middle of the call with Charles, John's phone went off again. John hurriedly looked at his phone, which he held up to his ear. The call was from his boss. The same one from earlier. I'm so sorry. The first thing that John said when he put the phone back to his ear was a strained apology. However, the voice on the other end was just as furious as earlier. No apology will make up for this. You having an affair with a worker from a hair salon run by our CEO's older brother. I let you be in charge to handle business with that store, since your nephew happened to be interning there. But how dare you make a fool out of us? Our CEO's older brother said he will no longer buy our cosmetics or our shampoo products ever again. He said he'll spread the word to the people and industry too. I was even more flabbergasted. Who would have thought that the hair salon was a business partner of John's company, and its manager was the CEO's brother? But the most shocking revelation of the day was yet to come. That girl, she's engaged to the son of the CEO's older brother, right? Did you lay a hand on her knowing that? I was dumbfounded. The woman had been cheating with John, even though she was engaged to the son of her manager. To summarize, John had an affair with a girl that worked at the hair salon that Charles had introduced him. The place happened to be owned by the older brother of John's company's CEO. The hair salon was actually an important client for John. And even worse, the girl he cheated with was engaged to her manager's son. It was clear that this would cause trouble in many ways if people found out. The audacity of these people. John's mistress also got a call. Ashley, do you think it's okay to have an affair with your client? You're even engaged to my son. What did you say to his wife? You're fired right here and now. Also, we're done dealing with that company's shampoo and cosmetics. Don't you and your man ever come here again. The frantic behavior of John and Ashley after that was something to behold. Both of them made numerous excuses and apologized over and over again on the phone, but it seemed to no avail. In the end, John turned beet red and Ashley left the hotel sobbing. I heard later that Charles, when he heard about John's affair, immediately suspected it was Ashley. So he consulted with the salon manager, and they both kept an eye on the situation here. After that, I divorced John. At first, he said, I don't need you anyway. But after Ashley told him she had been fired because of him, he turned around and started pleading with me. Don't divorce me. You're all I have, he said. But I cut him off without a second thought. And now, I've become a full-time employee at the grocery store where I worked part-time, and I'm studying to become the manager here. I owe it all to my years of dedication as a part-time worker. I don't need to rely on John's income anymore. By the way, I hear that John's sales performance has deteriorated rapidly since he lost the deal with that beauty salon. The rumors spread at his workplace, so I'm sure it affected John. According to Charles, John quit the company voluntarily. He was either encouraged to resign or felt uncomfortable staying at his workplace. After graduating from his cosmetology school, Charles got a job at that hair salon. Now, I am his regular customer. Although, he being a novice hairstylist cannot yet handle real customers, so he practices on me by cutting my hair. It's practice, so it's free, Charles says, but I feel bad about that, so I pay at least half the actual price. To be honest, Charles occasionally asks me out on dates, but I want to prioritize my work and my own time for now, so I've politely turned him down. The confrontation at the hotel was both dramatic and revealing. With my skeptical in-laws by my side, we caught John red-handed with his lover, Ashley, who turned out to be a hairstylist at the salon he frequented. The revelation didn't end there. Ashley was engaged to the son of John's company's CEO's brother, and their affair caused a scandal that led to John losing his job and reputation. Despite his pleas for forgiveness, I chose to move on and rebuild my life. Today, I am a full-time employee at the grocery store where I once worked part-time, and I am on my way to becoming a manager. Charles, my supportive nephew-in-law, now works at the salon and continues to be a good friend. This journey of betrayal and redemption has taught me the importance of self-respect and resilience. If you found this story compelling and want to hear more real-life experiences, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Have you ever confronted a cheater? Thank you for watching, and also welcome to our channel. Today's story is titled, When Family Interference Ruins a Perfect Dinner. In this episode, we'll dive into a dramatic family gathering where a meticulously organized dinner turns into chaos due to some unexpected interference. I'm known in the family to be a control freak about preparing food. In fact, in my family, there are 2 dinners in the year that all members come, all 30 people. And before I took over, all dinners were extremely late. There was always some problem with seasoning or poor preparations. I'm organized, and for every meal, I have a spreadsheet with everything I need to make a huge-scale dinner. At first, they didn't respect it. Still, after seeing that my method was useful, everyone joined in and allowed me to be the head of the organization. Since then, dinners have been ready on time and everyone praises and repeats the dish. Not very common. It takes 1 to 2 days to prepare meals. I don't ask them to help me because I know I'm serious with organization. But if the person wants to, I ask them to respect the process. Another fact, my mother was a cook for 1 year and my sister-in-law is studying gastronomy. The situation, Sunday was the half-yearly dinner and I was the head as usual, would help me, my sister-in-law, mother, aunt, and uncle. This would be sister-in-law's first family dinner, and she offered to help. During the preparation, my mother started to do several things wrong. And every time I said something, she said something like, "Stay calm. A wrong thing will not lead to anything." The problem is that she did so much wrong, skipping so many necessary steps in the food that most things I had to redo or give it a second look. She continued to help even though I said it wasn't necessary. Finally, I broke down when I just commented something about the steps with my sister-in-law and she corrected me. I was going to comment, but my mother said, "I think you better cool off in the pool and let those with experience sort it out." I accepted, grabbed a glass of wine, took the spreadsheet with me, and spent the whole day in the pool, ignoring when asked to return. So, dinner was late, poorly seasoned, undercooked, and no one had a second dish. My mother later said I ruined dinner and humiliated our family in front of relatives in revenge. I shouldn't take that seriously because it was just a silly family joke. By the way, I love making these dinners. And yes, my mother's and sister-in-law's behavior is common. Am I the idiot? Edit. Examples of what she did wrong. She put too much salt on one of the meats, which was inedible. There had to be 10 of something for the food and she cut it in half because it was too much. It wasn't. Also, she started to make rice very early and we used the pan first for other food and the rice was last because it was the biggest and heaviest pan. My spreadsheet basically has the amounts and how long each cooking ingredient goes. I pointed out that when they got the quantities wrong, too much or too little, or when they start making food that's for a long time before or after. Not the idiot. It's one of the more annoying things when someone wants you to take responsibility for a project, but insists that you do it in their style. It's especially irritating if your methods are your coping mechanisms and they systematically take away your coping mechanisms while demanding that you continue. And that's exactly what your mom did to you. I'm petty enough to love that you took the spreadsheet with you, too. I'm sitting here giggling, thinking about you in the pool like, you got this, right? Sure you do. Singing, "Carry on my wayward mom." I'm chilling in the pool as you told me to. Problem? Anyone who says there's a problem is an idiot. I would go low contact with my family after this level of disrespect, but maybe Opie has a different idea of things. When people try to sabotage your work and then act like you're the problem, you got to draw boundaries and hold firm. Exactly. And how's this sister-in-law supposed to be a pro when it's her first dinner? I think the mom kicked Opie out of the kitchen because she was trying to impress her new daughter-in-law. Then when it went wrong, she blamed Opie instead of taking responsibility. So I think that mom was low-key bullying Opie to impress her new guest. A wrong thing will not lead to anything. What? It leads to all sorts of things. I can only imagine how expensive that wasted food for 30 freaking people was. Mom was embarrassed by the control freak style and wanted to chill, but she also wanted the structure and skill and outcome of having the person there who does all the stuff well. She can't have both, and she was embarrassed by not having it work out. She doesn't seem used to the concept of follow-through. Next time, tell people you don't want help in the future. Tell them you're happy to cook, but if you're cooking, you're doing it alone. Otherwise, everyone else can bring their own dish. I'm 29 female, a university professor/researcher. My research focuses on maternity, law, and society. More recently, I've been diving deeper into how one of the repercussions of the child-free movement is the segregation of mothers. My family obviously knows what I do. My sister, 26, is getting married and is choosing to do a child-free wedding. Fine enough. She announced her choice to the family a few weeks ago. I said nothing. This weekend, a few cousins and close family members and I went out to brunch. My sister, out of the blue, asked me what my thoughts are about her child-free wedding. I said it was not the moment nor the place to talk about it. It was her wedding, and my studies are from a much broader point of view, not from an individual perspective. Nevertheless, she insists. She says she won't be upset, and now a few others want to hear what I have to say. Okay then. So, I explain that from my research, I've found that child-free community events like birthdays and weddings have a bigger impact on mothers. How child-free events often burden the mother, the ones expected to care for the child, to stay away from them, excluding not just children, but women from participating in the social life of the community they're a part of. So, How does this idea of having a day that's all yours, expecting your community to celebrate and support you, while excluding important members of any community, children, come from an individualist worldview while maintaining your expectations over your community? I did highlight again that my studies are not focused on one individual, but on the societal impacts of a changing dynamic in communities. I was more articulate than this, since I didn't have a word limit and answered a few questions that arose. However, my sister was quiet after that, and as soon as I noticed, I changed the subject, and everyone moved on to other topics. Well, yesterday, my sister called me to tell me I was very rude to say what I said, and that she was upset with me. I've been thinking about it, and I'm conflicted. I know it could cause problems, so I refused to answer the first time, but she insisted and said that it would be fine. So, I don't know. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Was she fishing for a debate or an argument? She got the answer she asked for, knowing very well about what you research. Very well said, by the way. I've never seen child-free events from that perspective. You did everything right when giving your thoughts after being deliberately asked for them. I'm not sure what she expected, unless it was to validate her having a child-free wedding. It's weird that she would ask and reassure you she won't be upset, and then call you rude. You not only warned her, but gave her the information in a very professional manner. I wouldn't have been upset if it were me. I would go ahead with my child-free wedding, but it would give me food for thought. Also, thank you. I appreciate this input on the societal aspect of child-free events. It's an angle I've never thought of before, and it's interesting. Your broad themes and conclusions make total sense. I can absolutely see how that would happen. Not limited to weddings, but I've seen this happen in one friend group, which really sucked for the mom in question. She was lonely, isolated, and doing an unfair share of parenting. Your position clearly not only has merit, but also has support garnered from a body of social science research. So, I wouldn't just dismiss it as unimportant or untrue. Certainly, it wasn't rude for you to share it. 29 female, just got married to Tom, 32 male, 3 weeks ago. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with him. We just returned from our honeymoon in Japan a week later, and I got the wedding photos. My sister was a photographer since she has a business and wanted to gift us all the photos and videos. One of my bridesmaids, Hannah, 29 female, dad passed suddenly in a freak accident before the wedding. She has a necklace he bought her a few years ago, and she wanted to wear it on our wedding day, something she asked for on that day. Unfortunately, it didn't go with her dress at all, way too loud and long, and I thought it detracted from her dress. However, I didn't see this as a huge hill to die on, since I've read about editing wedding photos online and that it's a way for everyone to be happy. So, she wore it in the photos, and I asked my sister if she could do me a solid and edit two versions of the photo, one copy with the necklace in it for Hannah, and one without the necklace in it for me. So, I ended up having that photo printed and put up in the dining room of me and all my bridesmaids. Tom and I threw a barbecue to thank everyone again for coming to the wedding. It was all going well until Hannah saw the edited photo without the necklace framed in on my wall. I explained and told her that I thought it was a nice way to compromise, since I didn't say it didn't go with the outfit at the wedding. She wasn't happy and said that the necklace meant a lot to her, and it was rude to have it edited out. I apologized, but pointed out that we gave her the photos where she was wearing a necklace, and that I wanted my photo with my original vision on my wall. There are photos of her where she's wearing the necklace. It was just this one photo of all my bridesmaids and me in front of our venue that I had edited. All of the bridesmaids' dresses were handmade by me to match my theme, and as a nice memento and part of their thanks for being in my bridal party. I would have designed hers differently if I knew she wanted to wear this necklace. She left pretty quickly after that, and has refused to answer my calls or messages of me trying to apologize. Was this an idiot move? She still got to wear the necklace to the wedding, and has photos of her in it also. But I wanted the outfits I made for my bridesmaids to be on show, not her dad's necklace. No idiots here. There's nothing wrong with you having an edited copy of the photo, but it was a little soon for your friend. Your friend's feelings are still raw. It felt like a jab to her. It wasn't. I know you know that. The other bridesmaids probably knew that, and your friend probably does too. But emotions are overwhelming. She just needs some time to go through grieving her father first. It was too soon, and that's not really anyone's fault. I'm sorry I wasn't as sensitive as I could have been. I got so lost in my own joy that I didn't stop thinking about how much you're grieving. I hope you can forgive me. Would you like to talk about your dad? Sometimes apologizing doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It's an acknowledgement that someone has been hurt, and their emotions are all over the place. If it's an important friendship, swallowing pride and reaching out can go a long way. Weird scenario, but for the last 2 months, I, 28 female, and my husband, 31, lived on my sister-in-law's property. We have an RV parked beside our house, and we're using her electricity to run power. We have all of our meals with her, her husband, and her kids, and we also take showers indoors and do laundry. It is helping us out dramatically because we're able to save money for our home purchase. We couldn't save while we were in our rental. Now the agreement is that I do house chores, sweeping, mopping, dishes, caring for our dogs, their laundry if I feel like it, and alternating cooking days, helping with grocery shopping, roughly $600 a month because we all lead together, and pay her $150 for water and electric we're using. So around $750 a month, plus all our housework is done by me. My husband does all the yard work, mowing, weed whacking, insect spraying, garbage runs, and driveway maintenance, as it's dirt and gets ruts. I'm currently 26 weeks pregnant as well. The point is, we do a lot. Sister-in-law, her husband, and her kids hardly ever lift a finger with us being here. Anyways, I'm currently not working. My husband owns his own business and is gone 40 to 50 hours a week and makes more than enough to provide all we need here, plus saving a significant amount for a house. He doesn't want me working while pregnant. I have hypertension, so I left my job 3 months ago. Well, lately, my sister-in-law's been sending me job alert after job alert, easily 8 to 10 plus a day. She's been dropping hints constantly. Every time we go anywhere, she'll be like, "These guys are hiring, I can grab you an app." I always say no. I do not need to work right now as I'm contributing well beyond my means already and my husband doesn't want me working right now. So she drops it, but then continues to send me the alerts. Yesterday, I was kind of fed up because sister-in-law asked me to do a lot more yesterday and I was just exhausted. So I was cleaning, doing all their laundry and scrubbing walls because they had a party planned. And she sent over an alert for a cleaning position and I lost it. I responded with, "Okay, I will get a job, but that means you'll have no one to clean your dirty underwear and scrub your walls for you, and I will not be doing anything but my portion of the chores around here." She responded, "I'm just trying to help. There's no need to be nasty. My husband is on my side. Am I the idiot?" Edit. We have talked about it. I thought the same thing, her being fed up with our arrangement. But my sister-in-law has clarified that she wants us here and doesn't even want us to buy a house to the point of her talking about converting her barn into an apartment for us and making big plans for it without actually getting a yes from us. She says this is her way of helping, sending me job alerts because she feels that two people need a job because she's resentful of her husband for not working. Not the idiot. The last line is what this is all about. So her hubby is just sitting on his butt. Oh. She has a lot of anger. You guys need to move even if it's to a fan camp situation that has hookups. What does she expect to happen when you give birth? This situation is going to get worse. I'm not even talking about the job alerts. This isn't healthy. You guys need to get out of there. Of course sister-in-law wants you there. She'll lose her indentured servant if you leave. You've been there for 2 months and you already pay for a good chunk of their food, do most or all of their chores, pay your utilities, etc. This is ridiculous. They're using you to help them with their finances and housework. You have a high-risk pregnancy. None of this is good for you. Exactly. OP, for $750 a month, you can rent a spot for your RV, likely with extra accommodations that benefit you, instead of sister-in-law, without the headache of dogs, cats, kids, secondhand smoke, and her lazy butt husband. Look after the little one and your own well-being, mental and physical. You're not the idiot. I kind of feel sorry for sister-in-law. It sounds like she's projecting and maybe even mentally struggling, but you can be supportive from afar. My wife has a young teen daughter from her first marriage. She calls me by my first name as she has a very present and active dad. My wife and I also have a toddler daughter and an infant son. Originally, my daughter was calling me daddy, but recently she's been calling me by my first name. I let it go for a bit, but after a few months, it wasn't ending. I know it's innocent, and she's only doing it because her sister is. I don't make a big deal out of it. For example, if she says, "Can I please have some juice, Justin?" I'll respond, "Daddy'll get you some juice." I've gently told her before that I'm dad or daddy. Her sister calls me by my first name because she already has a dad. I'm not offended by this at all. I get it's normal. I just want to correct it now before it becomes a habit and it never ends. Especially as we have a younger child who will soon learn how to talk. My wife thinks I'm overreacting and should just let her call me whatever she wishes. She claims if our kids called her by her first name, she wouldn't care, but they never have. So it's easy to say, I'm not on a power trip. I just think it's okay to want to be called dad. As long as I'm gently correcting her and not making a big deal, it shouldn't matter. The other night, my daughter asked for something using my first name. I said, "Dad will get it." And she corrected herself saying, "Oh yes, please daddy." My wife rolled her eyes and said I had broken her spirit. Was I wrong to gently correct her for this? It's completely innocent. I know someone else who had their own child and two older stepkids. Little ones are too young to understand familiar relationships fully. And she's likely just copying her big sister. Just gently correct her. Not the idiot. Your kid is just copying her big sister. She's not a teenager. She's a confused little kid. Your wife should call you daddy in her presence. So she knows. Your wife is an idiot. I get that it doesn't bother her, but it clearly bothers you. And I think out of respect for you, she should be encouraging your daughter to call you dad, not Justin. There are many ways to break a person's spirit, but reminding them gently to call you dad is not one of them. Why doesn't your wife have your back? How would she feel if the child started calling her by her first name instead of mommy? I bet she'd be hurt. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing family tales. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content.